Okay, so hello everyone, it's me Lisa, and today I'm going to be bringing you a kind of different video. Today's video is around the topic of anxiety, what to do when you're feeling a little bit anxious, and just tips. So this video is going to be called Tips on Anxiety. So I have the tips on my phone which I have written down because myself I do struggle with anxiety and depression, so I think that this video is kind of relatable, and anxiety is such a horrible thing when there are lots of things out there to do and you're kind of struggling to go out and do it. Okay, so anxiety tips. When you have anxiety, it is hard to control your thoughts and emotions. Now, I know this, obviously. People react out differently than others. Some people let people know their feelings sometimes, and they're in the right or in the wrong. So people could go to someone and say, look, I'm feeling a little bit anxious and I can't do this. Then people like me who react out within anger and swearing, but that's also down to different things with me. So then you also have people who don't show the emotions at all and just bottle it up, and I think that could be the worst for someone because it's always there, it's always in the back of the mind, and I think that that's not very nice at all. And lots of people do struggle with anxiety, and it varies through teens and adults. Doctors do say that anxiety and depression come together, but not in all cases. So moving on to my first tip for people who struggle with anxiety is just to remove yourself from the situation what you're in, because when you're in that situation, I become a bit overwhelmed and feel like I'm backed into a corner, like a bit like a coward animal, like cowering into a corner, and everyone's coming at me, and then that's when I burst and with anger, and I just, yeah. So when I'm usually put into a situation which I don't like, and I know that's life, and life doesn't go how we want it, but that's just something I need to work on. And just take some time out for however long you need, and just breathe and just tell yourself, I can beat this nasty anxiety and I can go there and I can do it because I'm a bigger person than anxiety. And the next tip is to eat well balanced meals, because if you just eat junk food and pizza and chicken nuggets and McDonald's and KFC and the chippy takeaways all the time, it is therefore going to play on your mind, such as questions like, am I going to gain weight? Am I going to become fat? Like I'm like that when I've had something from McDonald's or the chippy. So maybe, obviously, I'm not saying I do not eat junk food at all, because obviously I do eat junk food myself. But obviously I have nice and healthy things like salads and stuff. Which, when then questions are playing on your mind, that then increases your anxiety and stress levels. My next tip is to limit alcohol for people who are old enough to drink and do drink it, and caffeine, because these have a lot of energy and sugar in them which can cause an anxiety attack. My next tip is to get enough sleep. I know it's very hard to sleep when you have things playing on your mind, such as your anxiety. So I would recommend doing something which relaxes you and makes you feel calm, like with me, it's getting a nice warm bath and into my clean pyjamas, nice silky hair, and then I just climb into bed and I feel so relaxed then. And my next tip is to exercise and go out regularly, because exercise makes you feel good about yourself, inside and out. So therefore your mental state is at a good stage too. And also I think going out helps kind of put that to the back of your head. Like obviously I know you're going to think, like, do I look good enough to go out? Can I go out? Am I brave enough to do this? But I feel when I'm with a good bunch of people and they're determined to do something, that makes me determined to do something. And I feel like when I do have my lazy days, I think, oh, I am going to have to go out tomorrow, because if I have too many lazy days, that's when my depressing side comes on and I don't want to go out. I just want to stay in bed, and that's why I make a pattern for myself and I try and go out as much as I can. And then my last tip is, when you're suffering from an anxiety attack or you're feeling really anxious and overwhelmed, is to take deep breaths. And when you can feel yourself becoming very anxious, and take a break for however long you need, and just telling yourself that you and your brain are a lot stronger than the anxiety, and you should let nothing stand in your way. So I know them tips, what I've given you, some are better than others and some do make really good points, and I feel like she can sit there and she can say take deep breaths, but when you're in that situation, I know it's very hard for me when I'm backed into a corner to go, right, listen, oh my god, my fake tan looks so bad, right, listen, I need to go and take deep breaths. That it's very rare I say that, or then the bad side, I react in a long bad way.